Welcome back to Reading Bear. Today, we will take a look at some new malicious compliance stories. And if you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comments. Let's go!
The first one is titled, "You want to call the cops and have someone arrested?" I'll call the cops and have someone arrested. I was over 30, had gone back to school, and it was the Friday before finals week on my last semester to finish my CE degree. Bordering around campus, it's rather low income and not highly educated, and not a place I frequented. I walked into a gas station, we'll call it Square L, about 7:30 a.m. Locally, that's 30 minutes after they start selling alcohol. The county is dry between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. Grab 2 of the largest packs of cheap beer they sell, and head up to the register. No big deal, just stocking up for a small study party with friends on campus later that day. The person behind the register eyes me suspiciously as I set them on the counter and tells me I'm not buying them. I politely explain it's after 7 a.m. and I don't see a problem. The manager, denoted by dress shirt instead of polo, leans over and tells her to get my ID, so she asks me for it. I'm like, fine, whatever, and I fidget around a minute before realizing it's in my car. I say as much and offer to grab it, and she told me to go ahead. I dash out to my car, grab my wallet from my book bag. No big deal. Walk back in and present it to the person at the register, who promptly glances at it, snickers, snaps it in half, tosses it in the trash, and tells me to get the hell out of her store. I stood there a minute, sort of dumbfounded. The manager tells me to get the hell out of the store or police will be called and someone is getting arrested. I mumbled something along the lines of "oh crap" and opted to comply with the second half. I went to my car, grabbed my phone, called non-emergency and told them I just had my driver's license taken and destroyed, read off the address, ended my call, then headed back inside and stood. The manager tells me that's it, they are calling the cops. I let her know I already did. The clerk laughs and shouts for the people in the store to hear, "Y'all want to stick around, this idiot called the cops on us for taking their fake ID." It took about 10 minutes, but they showed up. As they arrived, the manager rushed out the door, and I walked behind. The cop asked for me immediately by name, dismissing the manager pointing at me and rattling off about my fake ID. I told him what happened, and I was told to leave or cops were to be called and someone was to be arrested. He then takes the statement from the manager, then the clerk, then requests the ID be retrieved from the trash. He looks it over and hands the 2 pieces back to me. He hasn't said anything other than simple requests for info up to this point, then asks me to come along, and we're going to have a chat outside. At this point, I'm actually growing a bit concerned. He punches in the DL number and up pops my face and info. Clean history, both driving and criminal. He then lets me know that destruction of a license is a misdemeanor in this state, and asks which one snapped it. We have a brief conversation, and at this point, he's smiling ear to ear. He asks me if I want to press charges, and at this point, I've already missed the first class, so state I do. I'm told to play along with him, and we share the course of action. By this time, there were 4 squad cars and police milling about. Customers had grown scared. We walked back in, I'm staring at the floor looking pensive, and he says loudly, "What do we say?" and nudges me. I politely say, "I'm very sorry this happened, and I'm sure it won't happen again." The clerk and manager begin chuckling. I then finish with, "The manager requested the clerk take it, who snapped it, then the manager is the one who said someone is getting arrested." The officer undid the cuffs from his belt, walked up to the clerk, and began with Miranda rights. Another did the same to the manager. Another 30 minutes roll by while they are sitting in the backs of squad cars. The store is devoid of employees until someone walks out from the back cooler. I wait patiently, eventually, they are cut loose under own recognizance, and I'm given a date to play witness in court. We head back in and the manager is irate. The employee, on release, bolted. I pay for my now warm beer and leave. My professor got a great laugh out of the police report, and let me do my project presentation late anyway. The next one is titled, "No one is above the rules, and I mean no one call me if he pulls rank." I used to work for a marketing company that serviced small and medium-sized businesses across America. It was a multi-billion-dollar revenue company. The CEO was a true rag to riches story. He joined the company right after he got out of jail in his early 20s for a small drug charge and worked his way up over 20 years to eventually become the CEO of the company. The CEO strongly believed that the success of the company did not come from the brilliant and intelligent minds that he hired for his executive team, but the hard work, sweat and tears of the infield sales reps, service reps made sure the customer services were properly installed, collection reps chased after customers who fell behind on their payments, and sales managers. He would often say, "Without sales we don't have the revenue to pay your salaries. Without customer service customers will drop us faster than we can bill them. Without collection reps we'd lose too many accounts due to non-payment. And without sales managers to hold it all together we'd fall apart." And he had a rule: every single executive team member would spend 1 full week of each quarter in the field with a sales manager, customer service rep, collections rep, or sales rep. In addition, when they are in the field they are to submit to whoever they've been assigned to and they may not pull rank. This rule applied to everyone to include the CEO. I know this, cause the CEO personally rode along with me for 5 days in the field. He was a legit cool guy. I got a story at the end about this. So, apparently we had hired a new VP of marketing from a major brand that I'm sure everyone in this sub would know of. Anyway, apparently the first time he went in the field the VP of marketing pulled rank on a sales manager and the sales manager reported this directly to the CEO. A new quarter went by, and I got an email stating that the VP of marketing will be joining me in the field on such and such week. Okay, cool. Not the first time I had some higher up come out and ride with me. But about an hour later I got a call from my CEO. "CEO, PJ, the VP of marketing is going in the field with you." Me: "Yes sir, I got the email." CEO: "PJ, I picked you cause when I was in the field with you, you seemed like the kinda guy that wouldn't be bullied or let someone run all over you." Me: "Okay, well thank you CEO, this VP is new to the company, and the last time he went in the field he pulled rank. I've told him not to pull rank again, and if he does I want you to call me as soon as you can." PJ: "I understand CEO, thank you." The VP meets me up. Honestly, for the first 2 days everything was fine. However, on the 3rd day I was meeting with an existing client. This client was a difficult to please customer. He would always say we weren't worth the money, but I knew we were because I could see his results, and over the years this client's business had grown a lot. Said client would beat us up over pricing. I'd stand firm, give him a 3% price increase, and offer him upgrades on top. He'd haggle me down to a 1.5% price increase and we'd sign the contract. Now I told the VP what would happen, that it would be a long sales call, and a difficult high tense one. But to let me handle it, I've dealt with the client quite a bit and was well prepared. Now this meeting with the client lasted 2.5 hours, but I'll get to the point. The client wanted a discount and was threatening to go to our competitor. He wouldn't. That's when the VP spoke up and said, "I'm the VP and I'll personally give you a 15% discount on your current plan if you agree to sign a 1-year contract." The customer said 20%, the VP said, "Spilt the difference 17.5% and we have a deal." They agreed and I was mad as hell. One thing to mention, my commissions depended on me generating more revenue and this VP just ducked me over. We get in my car, and I go, "You pulled rank, you shouldn't have done that." He said, "I got the deal done." I said, "Had you kept your mouth shut I'd have gotten more money, not given 20% back." He goes, "We got the contract signed." I said, "We gave away tens of thousands of dollars that we didn't need to." He goes, "Look, I'm the VP." I then called my CEO. He saw the name pop up on my car's Bluetooth. CEO answered, "CEO, PJ, how are you doing?" PJ, the VP pulled rank on me and gave my customer a 17.5% discount on his current plan right as I was about to close him for more money. CEO, that's not right, where is the VP? PJ, you're on speaker, he can hear you. CEO, excellent, hey VP. VP, yes sir. CEO, tell me what happened. VP told his side of the story, which he admitted the truth but also admitted to pulling rank and giving the customer a discount. CEO, okay, thanks for your honesty. You're fired. VP, excuse me? CEO, you're fired, you have a 1-year probation clause. You're done. You don't pull rank when in the field. VP, you can't do this. CEO, I just did. You are to get on a plane, come back to your office and clean it out. PJ, take Mr. VP back to his hotel and drop him off. PJ, sure, no problem. And for the next 20 minutes I had an awkward car ride back to my former VP's hotel. Later in an all-hands-on meeting, the CEO made sure to talk about how if an executive is in the field and pulls rank, it's a fireable offense for the executive. And he wants all the sales reps, sales managers, customer service reps, and collection reps to know that. Side story on this CEO: the company had a data plan, which gave us 4G on our iPads, phones, and laptops. Well, the company changed the service plan, and our data plan went down to only our phones, and we had to hotspot off that. They said this move would save us $80,000 a month. We had like 4,000 employees in the field. Well, 2 months later we had a conference. We had 3 conferences a year, and after the conference, everyone went to the hotel bar. That's when I approached my CEO with another sales rep and talked to him about how much of a pitter it was to hotspot all our devices and how much it drained our phone batteries and blah blah, and that I get it saves money, but it also costs productivity. The CEO nodded and said, "Tell you what, in 2 weeks the CIO is supposed to go in the field. I'll have him to go in the field with you, and if he agrees that it's costing our reps productivity and causing too many workflow issues, I'll bring back 4G data to all devices." The CIO was there and said, "CIO, you're going to XYZ area and you will be riding with PJ. Pay attention to how he uses his 4G data, and if you think we should go back to the old plan where all devices had 4G. The CIO went into the field with me. On the 3rd day at breakfast he said, "Last night I called the CEO, and I said, yay?" And he said, "I made a recommendation that we go back to our old data plan and ensure all your devices have 4G data. It's obviously creating productivity issues, and when you look at the cost per user, it's not that great." The next one is titled, "Must bring 2 pencils or 1 pencil and a sharpener to class." I can do that. In 9th grade algebra, I had a teacher that was a little odd. He would lecture the first half of class on how to do the work and then sit back and let everyone do homework the second half of class. He did not let anyone get up at any time during class to sharpen a pencil, as it was too distracting. He said you have to have 2 sharpened pencils or 1 pencil and a sharpener every day you came to class. The desks were set up in a 5x5 pattern like normal, but then there was an extra seat at the front of the class next to the window. He called it the sunshine seat. If you were disruptive, you sat there. That was my seat after about the first 2 weeks of class. One day, while he is going on about the lesson with the overhead projector, I was just sitting, reading a book or something, not taking notes is the point. This was over 30 years ago, so I did not have a phone or anything. He looked over at me and asked why I was not taking notes. I said I did not have a pencil. I did, but I was lazy. He told me to borrow one from a neighbor and that I should have the necessary supplies next time I come to class. So I had an idea. After school, I went to a local Walgreens type store, not sure what that would be overseas. I borrowed a battery-powered pencil sharpener and some batteries. I was not a very good kid. The next day, I couldn't wait to get to that class. A friend of mine was in the class with me and he knew what I was going to do. The teacher started his lesson, and after about 10 minutes, I purposely broke my pencil lead. My friend was already trying to hold in his laughter. I pulled out my battery-powered pencil sharpener and sharpened my pencil. I even looked at the tip and blew on it and gave it just a touch more sharpening before putting the sharpener back in my jean jacket pocket. The whole class started laughing. I was bright red, as I am not a public speaker and I don't like a lot of attention. But that was worth it. One girl kept laughing and the teacher said, "What, haven't you ever seen a pencil sharpener before?" So at least he was pretty cool about it. Toward the end of class, the teacher asked me if it was hot. Then he tried to buy it for $5. I don't even remember if I sold it to him. I don't think so. I do remember walking past a girl in the hallway and she was telling her friends about it, saying it was so funny. I was very proud of myself. Unfortunately, that was the peak for me, for coolness. Freshman year. But I did meet my future wife in foods class senior year, so it all worked out. We have been together over 30 years now. The next one is titled, "Read the Manual If You Don't Believe Me." Background story: at mid-2018, my grandmother got a stroke. Because my grandmother is the heavyweight side of my family, no one in the family can help her if she wants to go to the bathroom or move between bed and wheelchair. Hiring someone to help is not an option because she doesn't like a stranger to help her, especially doing her private business. We also didn't want her to feel that we didn't care enough for her by not taking care of her ourselves. Because at the time only my uncle and I are the only ones available, I have to move to my grandmother's house to help my uncle take care of my grandmother. My brother already has a job and all my cousins still too young to help. I just finished my degree and still looking for a job at that time, so I am still available. Problem: enter my aunt, my mother's oldest sister. They are a type of family who always complains about their financial issue but keep spending their money at the unnecessary thing like overpriced and probably scam product. For example, they bought $30 per box diet milk for Helen, her daughter, who is 20 years old, college girl with around 150 centimeters height, 4 ft, 11 inches, with around 90 kilograms, 198 pounds, who didn't even bother to work out or control her appetite. They stop using it after a few months because there is no effect on her. Because she is my grandmother's oldest child, she always tried to make the other family member who is younger than her to do what she said and make sure all of them respect what she said. Event to my mother and my uncle, elderly respect are very common in my culture. She is also one of the biggest hoax resources in our family group chat. And even she believes in superstitious. She thinks that she is the wisest and all-knowing person in the whole family. After hearing that her mother got a stroke, she immediately goes to my grandmother's house bringing one of her to overprice and probably scam item. A $1,200 special electric mattress that she said could improve blood circulation and treat many diseases like stroke, hypertension or other things. I doubt this, so I ask her, I am not sure an electric mattress could cure stroke. Aunt: well, of course, not every stroke can be cured, it depends on how severe the stroke is. And this mattress is special and different from those cheap mattresses. This one has a special electric wave that can improve blood circulation. Well, sure. If you believe so, with a sarcastic tone. Aunt: if you don't believe me, try it yourself. You will feel that your body getting warmer. Isn't that what every electric mattress do? And it is so hot here, I don't want to make myself get any warmer. It is around summer and the temperature can reach 400 indoor. My grandmother's house is an open traditional house, so not every room has an air conditioner. Aunt: whatever, if you don't believe me, don't use it. This is not for you to use, anyway. The problem is when she wants to use it to my grandmother, she said, Aunt, oh, and before the mattress timer off, do not turn it off or unplug the cord. Just wait for it until it turns off by itself. What? Why? Aunt: because you could break the mattress components. This mattress is expensive. I don't want to take any risk. But this mattress has off button. Why we can't turn this mattress off if they put the off button here? My aunt keeps trying to find unreasonable reasons about why you should not turn it off. Her daughter Helen even tried to convince me and use electromagnetic jargon to explain. I am not master in this field, but at least I know what she says are nonsense. They keep insisting an event said that the seller and the manual book said to not turn off the mattress before the timer went off by itself. This is where I get nervous. There is no way I let my grandmother use an electric device where the company who creates it is stupid enough to make stuff that has an on-off button but will break if you turn it off. She even has the audacity to tells me, don't be a know-it-all person like your father. There is a bit tension between my father and my mother that time. This has kinda upset me. I am not sure why, but I have the urge to find out the truth. Let me read the manual book. I don't believe that there are home devices with on-off button that you can't use it. Aunt: sure. The manual book is in the box. Find it and read it yourself if you don't believe me. Where is the box? Aunt: well, I don't know, maybe it's in Grandma's room. But remember, this is my mattress, you have to use it the way I said. Sure, it's not like I care how to use it. I just want to find the manual and see if there is an electric device that can break just because you turn it off. I try to search it everywhere but couldn't find it. Grandmother's bedroom, living room, storage room, everywhere that the box might be, but the box is nowhere to be found. There are of course some rooms that I wouldn't dare to enter, like the guest bedroom where my aunt stays or my uncle's bedroom. For a few days, I couldn't find the box, so I let the matter go for now. But because of this stupid no-off button policy, there is some inconvenient, like my grandmother can't go to the bathroom in the middle of what my aunt called therapy session. because sometimes there is static that can zap me or my uncle when we touch my grandmother while the electric mattress is still on. This upset my uncle and me because the faster timer can be set is 30 minutes and it's hinder us to help my grandmother. A week pass and my aunt has to leave and back to her hometown. When she and her daughter back home, I can use the guest room to sleep because it is closer to my grandmother room rather than my cousin room, my uncle, and I also have to wake up 2 or 3 times every night when my grandmother wants to use the toilet and wait for her to help her return to bed. She refuses to use an adult diaper. So the closer room will make it easier to help her. You can bet what I found in there. The mattress box and the manual. I guess she forgot to take it with her or thought that because my grandmother still uses it, she can leave the box here. She must forget about our conversation back then and thought that I wouldn't use the guest room. She knows that I couldn't stand the heat when sleeping in there and there is no aircon there. So, when I go visit my grandmother house before, I always slept with my cousin because he has aircon in his room. We are close and we often to play a game together in his room till late anyway. I immediately open the box and read the manual. Lo and behold, to turn off the mattress heater, switch the button from on to off. The manual also has a different section for each mattress setting like battery, timer, manual, etc. And every setting has the same part, to turn off the mattress heater, switch the button from on to off. To make sure, I read all the manual and couldn't find any instruction or warning about turning off the mattress while being used. There is also nothing that said that this mattress could treat any disease like what my aunt said. There is no way I miss this change. A second later, I take the picture all of the manual book sections available and underline all the part where the book said, to turn off the mattress heater, switch the button from on to off. Send it to my family group so everyone, especially my uncle who also didn't believe what my aunt said, could see that all the inconvenience we have been through in the past weeks is just for nothing. For your information, this is not a small family chat group. Almost all close family in mother's side join this group, including all my cousin, nephew, aunt, uncle, etc. Reading this, my uncle, cousin, mother and my brother who is visiting at the time laugh about it. But because my aunt nature, she still insists that we must not turn the mattress off while being used, and threatening us to compensate if anything happens to the mattress. She even makes a sarcasm comment status in her Facebook and group chat about there is always a person who thinks they are smart yet not realizing they are so stupid, or it is hard to deal with someone who's stubborn but couldn't admit their mistake, and many more. Reading this, most of the family, most of them are visiting my grandmother, know about this conflict, laugh even more and make a joke about it. She keeps making sarcasm and sour comment about this in the group chat and Facebook for a few days before she got tired about this herself. I am not sure if I am being petty and doing unnecessary thing by sharing that manual book in the family group chat, but at least I got my piece. The last one is titled, "The armrest is yours and the window is mine." Here, let me just put my book down. So this happened to me on my flight on a particularly sunny morning. I booked a window seat, love me some window on an airplane, and I ended up sitting next to a man in his mid-30s who took an outrageous amount of selfies on the plane to document his travels, I assume. This already put a bad taste in my mouth, but to each his own. Our side of the plane only had 2 seats, so it was just him and me. We did some armrest dancing and eventually reached what I thought was an unspoken agreement that I would have my elbow on the front side of the armrest while he would take the back. I thought it worked out pretty nicely, so we both got what we wanted. So we take off and he ended up falling asleep. I pop my headphones in for some hip hop and open up a book I've been meaning to read for quite some time. As we reach 10k feet, it's quite sunny, like almost unbearably so. But I enjoy being able to see out my window while flying, so I kept my window open. I felt bad and wanted Selfie Bro (SB) to be able to stay asleep, so I lifted my book just right so that it blocked all sunlight from SB. That way, I could enjoy my book and my window, and SB could get some Zeds. Fast forward about 30 minutes when Selfie Bro woke up, SB aggressively moves arm forward so as to displace mine. Me, did I do something to upset you? SB, you're taking up the whole armrest. You have a window. I get the armrest. Me, okay. I move my arm. And my book. As I set my book down, the sunlight that was previously blocked now shines directly on SB's face. He grunts as he tries to reposition himself to get out of the light. I lean back on my seat so he can get the full sunlight experience. I return to reading my book. SB asks me to close the window and I pretend to not hear him. SB can't get comfortable, and he doesn't want to turn the other way because there's a small child who won't stop staring right at him. You can have the armrest, SB. Thanks for listening.